Hey guys, welcome back. Nick here. This is MSFS Flight Plans, and I have got a very special late Christmas present for you guys that I'm re-gifting because I got it this morning. When I checked my Gmail account, I had a message from Clifford from Cli4D Designs, and there was an attachment included. You know what that means. He has sent me an early release version, which may not be early anymore. I don't know when it's actually going on sale, of his latest mod-up, specifically designed for 2024. This one is in Norway, and we're going to check it out for the first time together. All I did was make a basic flight plan and start it on this helipad. And the one thing that's going to stick out at you before anything else, before we see any rocks, waterfalls, or all the other wonderful stuff that I'm sure we're about to see, look at this landscape. This is unbelievable. This is nothing that he's modded up, I don't think. We're a couple miles out still from where all of his terrain is. This is gorgeous. We've taken, this is now our third Norway flight, and none of them were down in the fjords, just because there were so many other flight sim channels that had done fjord trips. This is just amazing. And this is the only helipad, before you put the mod in, I think that you can even get to out here that's already in the sim. And there doesn't appear to be anything but this pad here, so I don't know if this is, there is a little spot I found on little nav map, so there's something out here in real life. Why this is here, I have no idea. I looked down there over the edge, there's no towns or anything that I could see, so it's just sitting up here, thank goodness. Because this might be the best looking spot I've ever seen in the sim. At least as far as sunsets go. Heck, this time of year it might be a sunrise. But let's go ahead and climb in, and then I'll show you a little nav map real quick. We're taking the 500E because I took it last time for Clifford's tour, and I feel like it's kind of become a tradition now, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, let's look at the little nav map real quick. I'll show you where we're going, and I'll tell you how I found this. I had to look at the file name just to figure out where it was. It's near the town of Geiranger, and I think the ford is called Geirangerfjord, if I'm saying that correctly, which I'm probably not. So there's Norway, and here's where we are. Here's the big ford. I'm going to mention that in a little bit, just so you know where that is. That's the one they call the king of fjords. So when I came into the sim, there was a helipad right down here, which again, little nav map is not bringing them over yet from the sim. I think the one that's included with the pack is somewhere in here, and what I'll do is I'll put a little H bookmark right there, so you'll be able to find it if you want to in the little nav map when I link this flight plan in the bookmark file. So instead of seeing that, because the furthest to the northwest of his POIs is over here, and then the furthest south is this one here, which is a lookout. And you can see they have a parking lot. I don't think there's a real helipad there, but we're going to try to park out there so I don't have to circle all the way back down. We'll park this thing in the parking lot, and we'll get to do a little mountain climbing, it looks like there at the end. So that's about 17 miles from here to there. So we got a little trek before we get down there, but we'll check out the fords as we're coming over. Fjords, I need to say that correctly. And I found a couple YouTube channels of people flying drones and, you know, just filming stuff on the ground. They have got waterfalls everywhere out here. This is a waterfall gold mine, and I totally understand why Clifford decided to make something out here. I don't know how he found it, but man, did he ever find a good spot. So when I was zooming in, we can at least see, I think they've got a couple. There's one running down right there, right down to the water. And then they've got several huge ones out here. There's a big one there. There's another big one there. And I think that I saw some shots of a big waterfall coming down this way. There's another one there. Waterfalls all over the place, so I'm sure it's going to look amazing. And I was playing around before I started recording with the different months, just to maybe get the sun higher in the sky. But, I mean, you just gotta have snow and everything out here, so we'll see how it looks with all that. If you're watching this, we could still see the waterfalls. That's my only fear, is that we might not be able to see them, but we'll see how it looks once we get going. And with that, let's go ahead and get going. As we come over the edge here, I'm going to see if there's any little buildings or anything around here. I don't know why this is out here, but I sure am glad that it is. Alright, so up we go. When I was trying to find this place on the Google map, I did notice a little marker out here that I think is a historical site of an old barn or an old farm or something. I think like it's a national historic site. But again, I couldn't find any structures. When I hovered over it, a little picture did pop up of some old barn buildings, but I think it's abandoned now. So maybe that helipad is just for people that want to come out here and check it out. I'm just trying to kind of get up here for a second to see if we can see anything down by our feet. I really don't think there's anything out here, except that helipad. Thank goodness. And I did turn the wind up just a little bit. I was afraid, you know, when you go to the clear sky setting, sometimes the water's just like glass. That would be unrealistic, so I fixed that as well. And before we get going, just because I mentioned earlier that Clifford did give this to me as a gift, an early preview, as I mentioned on our last review flight, and this would be the case for anyone that ever gave me anything. If it's cool, I'm going to say it's cool, and I'm going to buy it as soon as it is released. One, because I want to keep everything on the level, and two, because I want to support all these guys that put in all this work. They definitely deserve it. And you guys know, if you've seen our other several reviews of Clifford stuff, I really like what he does. He is really a trailblazer as far as the waterfalls go, in my opinion. If you've seen Niagara Falls or Victoria Falls, the Jeppesen guys did those up in 2020. And by the way, don't even think about going to Niagara Falls yet in 2024, unless they fixed it since the release. What a freaking disaster that was. Man, oh man. But he stepped up the game with those things. He created kind of a splashing, flowing effect. It's really cool. So I'm sure we're going to get to see the next evolution of that once we come out here. And since we have just a few minutes, I decided to do a little research on fjords, since we didn't really talk about them too much on our other Norway flights. If you've ever gone fjord hunting, you probably realize that they don't have any anywhere near the equator. All of them are up at or around the north and south poles. And the reason why is because all of these things have been created by glaciers. Many, many cycles of water piling up, ice piling up, the ice melting, water running down here, freezing up again, running down again, carving the channels just a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper each time. So we see them over in places like Greenland. We saw some great fjords out there. Of course, Norway is just covered with them. Down in the Patagonia region of South America, Argentina, Chile, we've got some down there. Australia's not far enough south, so that's about the only 2 or 3 regions where I've found them. Alaska might have a few. I didn't think to look. They got a lot of glaciers, and where there's glaciers, there might be fjords. But as I was exploring how these things were made, which is pretty self-evident when you think about it, they made an interesting comment, and it kind of set me back a little bit. I mean, I'd thought about it before, but it never really registered with me. They said that a lot of people consider the last ice age ending around 12,000 years ago, and I've said that many times on our channel. But they said we're actually still currently in an ice age. And the reason we're currently in one that we can say that is that the Earth has had several ice-free ages, completely ice-free. And right now, it's still cold enough to have ice on the planet, and I can only imagine how much this will probably be underwater if all of the ice on the planet was melted. But they said there's been some periods where ice went all the way down to the equator, and the last time they happened, the average temperature of the Earth was negative 53 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm glad I wasn't around for that. So then I started thinking about how deep these things are. When we were taking one of our Scottish Lochs tour, I was always fascinated by how deep those things are. Finger Lakes too. Those really narrow but really deep bodies of water. And these things are deep as well. I don't know how deep this one is, but I looked up the deepest one in Norway, which is called Sognefjord, which is the one I showed you on the little nav map, the biggest one out here. It's called the King of Fjords. 127 miles long that thing is, but it gets down to almost 4,300 feet deep, which is insane. For something this skinny, that is 4 times deeper than the deepest spot in any of the Great Lakes. That's out in Lake Superior. It's only about 1,000 feet deep, which is crazy. If this was frozen, you could walk across it in a couple minutes, but it goes down that deep. Awesome. And a little bit frightening for some reason. Even though I'm fascinated by deep water spots, they give me the heebie-jeebies. The deepest one in the world, by the way, if you're curious, is at Skelton Inlet in Antarctica. That one goes down about 6,300 feet. So we're cruising over here to the town of Geiranger, the best travel destination in Scandinavia, according to several travel websites. And on Wikipedia, anyway, it said this was the 3rd biggest cruise port in Norway. But when you see it, you'll feel like I did and not believe that. And it's a good thing that I didn't believe it, because I looked it up on some more reliable cruise passenger statistics sites. And they said this one's about the 6th or 7th largest. But they do get several 100,000 people coming through here in the 5 months that the town is open for tourists, which is May to September. Which is probably really thrilling for the 250 permanent residents. Look at these cliffs on the side here. I think we got a waterfall dead ahead. I wonder what all those people do when it's not tourism season. Probably leave when it's freezing. But if you're thinking about visiting, you should probably do it soon. This area is in imminent threat of a mega tsunami. That spot we left from is a big mountain called Akerneset, and there's a big fissure on it that keeps getting wider and wider, and they think that thing is about to slip off at any time, and they say when it does, it'll be a 100-foot high tsunami projected. Okay, we got one on the right and the left there. That's cool. Very nice. How's this one over here look? That looks absolutely amazing. I love how it comes down through those little cracks there. And another one dead ahead. So can you imagine? I mean, if that thing fell off, shot a huge pile of water down here as it gets skinnier coming up to this town, absolutely devastating. There won't be anything left. They said they installed a bunch of tsunami warning sirens and stuff out here, but you wouldn't have very long to get anywhere. That's for sure. I mean, what is it, like 5 miles back? This is unbelievable terrain. All right, let's take a look at this guy here. I like how it's flowing right down to the water like that. Man, that pillar is thick. That is awesome. Look at that. And you can see it totally fine with the snow. Look at it burbling and splashing. That is insane. Oh, that looks so good. I know some people will be like, well, that doesn't look like a real waterfall, but that is hands down the best that we've seen in the sim, 2020 or 2024. Same with that Himalayan pack that we toured. These are the best we've got, and they're only going to get better. These are really like Gen 2 probably for the waterfalls. If you've been out to Niagara Falls, it almost looked like a rolling cylinder of water, but the thing that Cli4D has managed to scale up is that kind of splashing effect, which adds so much more realism. I think we got another waterfall up there. I think that's the big one. And I'm pretty sure right to the left, there's a big switchback over here. I think they have a little one running through here, because I saw some pictures of this place too. The trees are super detailed. Of course, all the trees are now. Rocks being what they are, the cliffs. Well, I bet that saved Cli4D a lot of time, not having to do all these cliffs up. Now they're naturally textured with the AI. Is there a waterfall out there? Yep, there it is. Look at it. Oh, I think he did that little hotel down there at the bottom too. Is it a bird flying by, or is it a speck on my window? Is it running up there in that crack? Oh, God, that's amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So here's the town here. Here's their cruise ship. Yeah, that's not the third biggest in the country. Look at that. Well, they do got... And I was reading that they can just anchor them. I don't think they have a mooring thing they can pull them right up to on the side there. So they must have to bring tenders out. I'm looking for the helipad real quick. See if we can see anything. It should be down in that open area somewhere. Yeah, I don't see it. And here's the town. All 250 permanent residents of it. Okay, so I'm not really sure where these are. We'll just kind of circle around and see if we can find them. There's one right there. And it looks like these roads are getting a little bit of the AI clearing treatment. You can see they don't line up perfectly with the actual roads, which is fine. There's just going to be some parts of the world where that's going to happen until the AI catches up or someone does a road pack. But that's not what Cli4D's doing out here. All right, let's check this thing out. That one looks a little bit frozen over, but you can tell it's moving. You can tell it's moving, and that's all you want. You just want it to look like a real waterfall, which it certainly does. Look at that. That is a massive waterfall. Incredible. And we're probably flying right over one right now. Let's see, it would be down there to our right. Okay, there's a little river, it looks like. Yep, you can just see those roads are running parallel to each other. I think the roads got smacked in the wrong spot. Yeah, there that one is. You know what? Let's go ahead and circle back around. I feel like we need to, because all the waterfalls down here, I don't want to miss anything. We don't need to fly past that fast. Let's just cruise back down here and see what else there is to see. Take a better, slower look at some of these waterfalls. What an incredible area. What a find. So cool. I think he did that hotel up down there too. And I think there's a big one down there closer to the water as well. I'm still not seeing that helipad anywhere. So what I'll do after this, I'll just start on that helipad and then I'll put the bookmark right where it is so you know where you're coming in if you import our bookmark file, which of course will be included in the video description. They said they have a lot of camping out here too. I don't see it. Look at all those snow-covered cars. Oh, look right, dead ahead. More waterfalls. Those are little ones coming down there. Well, let's go check it out. I mean, you could have just left that totally blank and have your mind blown. But nope, we got waterfalls on it. Look at them cascading down there. Incredible. So I'd be curious to see, and I will come back when we're done and just change the seasons, see what it looks like, see if it looks any different. I like this a lot. This looks very realistic. And I'm betting that the roads are probably going to look jacked up no matter whether there's snow or not, because they're obviously not drawn right on top of the actual roads. Okay, down there to the right, I'm going to try to keep in that little quarter window so we can see that little river flowing as it's burbling over the rocks there. That's amazing. I don't want to get any closer. I mean, I do want to get a lot closer, but we got to come up over that little ledge right there. Yep, if you got a big screen, you'll be able to see it's flowing over all those rocks there, right down that little crevasse. Well, those roads... Look at that. Well, I'm sure someone's going to find a way to fix that eventually. Look at that little river running through there. And we got another little fall. I mean, I bet in real life, being down at the bottom of that probably looks absolutely amazing. I'm getting a little bit of wind here. Trying to keep it steady. That is awesome, awesome. Okay, so we'll follow this thing as long as we can still see it. And it looks like it's fading pretty quick. That little bridge there is not filled in underneath. That's great. And then we'll do our mountain climb. Can you imagine what the view is going to look like on top of that thing once we come over with the sun and everything? I bet it'll be amazing. Oh, look at this, these trees. Oh, that looks like a picture right there. You could put it on a postcard. It's so good. You know what I might do? I might throw a little music bed behind this. It's so scenic, I feel like I need like a soft piano bed. I think I'm going to do that. If I can make it work, you're already listening to some music. Yep, those roads are not quite right. Not Clifford's fault. He doesn't do roads. And speaking of music, guys, if you saw our flight over Australia at the Mare Man, I've had lots and lots of requests. The number one request I've ever gotten from anyone on the channel is to do more external shots. You don't have to do it so much in helicopters because the field of view is already so incredible for most of them. So I was experimenting with some of them on that Australia flight just to see if anyone said anything. And nobody really did, so I personally would rather stay in the cockpit because I'm trying to make it feel like we're actually in a cockpit. But a lot of people have asked for it. But then I started thinking, like, all the hardcore simmers I know always fly all the time in the cockpit, obviously. But there is a massive chunk of people that never get in the cockpit, and I know that because all the other guys that I've ever seen that aren't hardcore simmers never get in it. They fly it from outside the cockpit. So I'm kind of wondering if the comments are from people that just don't ever get in the cockpit. For me personally, I think it's a total realism breaker to keep getting out of the cockpit, but there are some spots that look pretty cool. The one shot of that big, huge landmark, that's the only one I really liked on that Australia trip, because you could just see it really well, and it was a cool camera shot. But other than that, I'd love to get your feedback on it. I have to do 2 whole flights, and then try to sync them up, and then switch the camera shots. Of course, that Colorado Canyon flight was its own special beast. I'll probably do another one of those here, once a quarter maybe. Just flying around, checking out cool spots. Look at the detailing down here. Oh, I cannot wait to come over this edge and see what this sun looks like. Oh, here it comes. Oh, I can't wait. I'm beside myself. It's like Christmas all over again. Well, look at how detailed the texture on that snow is. Oh my gosh. You can see every little lump and bump on there. Look at that right on the top of it there, on the crest. Oh yeah. Yep, this is what I wanted. Right here. This is all my simming dreams fulfilled. Alright, where's this lookout? Okay, there it is. And now we gotta try to get... Look at that snow. Oh my gosh. Yep, if the sun was higher in the sky, we wouldn't see that. Those shadows are making it really come to life. A little cross-country ski trail running through there. And then it just ends up here for some reason. Probably a little bit of a satellite image switch over. Okay, so I need to just see how many cars we got and how big the spot is. I might have to come over to the right side of it. If there's an opening over there, we'll just see what we got once we get up here. And that's all assuming I can get this thing down. Yeah, boy, right around this thing, the texturing is just not as good. The satellite image isn't as good, unfortunately. But that's fine, it's just a little spot up here. And I'm pretty sure Clifford mounted this place up too, because it was one of the InSim POIs. Well, it looks like it might be open enough up there. Let's come over this way and just take their driveway right up to the snow-covered parking lot. Oh yeah, that's a big spot. Look at down there. How's our wind looking? Ooh, 10 knot crosswind. Oh, this will be fun. For sure, it's probably gusting too. Alright, I'm just going to see if we can come right up through here. Thread the needle. Easy does it. Easy does it. I wonder how long it takes to drive up here. Like, from the town. Okay, let's see if I can get this thing down. I'm sure it'll be a lot better after our upcoming live helicopter flight lesson with a real helicopter pilot, so stay tuned for that. That's still in the can at some point. Got a little blowing snow there. Perfect. Alright, ease her down. Okay, well, let's shut this off, and I'm going to hop out and look around real quick here, because why the heck not? Looks like an amazing spot. It is called a lookout, so of course we should check it out. Is that a flowing river there? Nope, that looks like a little pond too. Oh no, that's the first bit of creeping water I've seen anywhere in the sim. See that right there? That's okay. If that's the first time we've seen it on all these trips, that's fine with me. This is really cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm surprised I don't have a gondola ride going up here. Let's look back at our helicopter. winding itself down. Yeah, we park wherever we want. We got a 500E. It's like pulling a Ferrari up in front of the hotel. Now, those guys are brave. Whoever drove those things up here. Yeah. Oh, man, look at that. Look at that. All right, I got to get a selfie of myself. Click. Awesome. Well, as soon as this does go up, guys, or at least I find where it's being sold, I'll go ahead and post, I'll update the video description with a link for where you can get it, so you can check it out. Definitely cool. You can have a lot of fun out here, but we don't need to spend 45 minutes looking at it. I think you saw all you need to see, and you better believe I'm going to try flying 3 or 4 different helicopters out here, go take a better look at those waterfalls, and just explore the surrounding areas. Is there anything in here? Doesn't look like it. Can we walk in? Oh, yep, nothing in there. Just to look at it from the outside. So that's it, guys. Cannot wait to see you all again in the skies. Later.